Dear students, let us start another topic in the chromosomal structural changes, chromosomal aberrations, and that is the inversion. Now, sometimes what happens that while looking at the chromosome, you are not finding any change in the number of the chromosomes. Say for example, in the original chromosome, you are having 8 number of genes from A to H, and in the final chromosome you are also having after some change you are also having again the 8 number of genes, but the arrangement of the genes is not matching with the previous one, that is here it was A B C D E F G H I G H, and here it is reversed for a part of the segment or the block of the gene, that is A D C B E. So, this rotation of the block of the gene within a chromosome is called the inversion. This rotation takes place at 180 degree. So, this ends rotate and come down over here, and this end goes up near to A. It is possible only when two breaks will take place in a chromosome. Say for example, in order to rotate this block of the gene in a chromosome, a break must take place between A and B, and another must take place between D and E, and after rotation the ends will join in such a fashion that D will join with A and B end will join with E, so that the segment get rotated. Now, because you know there is a pair of homologous chromosome in the diploid individuals. So, if this inversion takes place only in one chromosome, then it is called heterozygous inversion or the chromosomal inversion, and if it takes place in both the chromosome of a homologous pair, then that is called the homozygous inversion. Now, here you can see it is heterozygous inversion, because in original in one chromosome the sequence of the gene is normal, that is A B C D, and in the other this segment is reversed. So, forming the gene sequence as A, C, B and D. Now, in case of the homozygous inversion, which is also called the allosomal, when both the chromosome of a homologous pair shows the inversion, if the allosomal inversion occurs in the homologous arm of the two chromosomes, that means if inversion is taking place in this arm of the one chromosome and the inversion of the other chromosome will also takes place in the same corresponding arm, then that type of inversion will be called allobrachial. And if in one chromosome is showing inversion in this arm and other is showing in this arm, then that will be called the heterosomal allosomal inversion. As far as the types of inversion is concerned, there are two types of inversion, paracentric inversion and pericentric inversion. Let us look at the paracentric inversion. Now, what happens when the break, both the break leading to the inversion takes place on one side of the centromere. Say for example, this centromere, this is the centromere and break is taking place on one side only, then it means the inverted part is not involving the centromere, it is one side of the centromere, it is called the paracentric inversion. Now, if paracentric inversion occurs singly, that is on single side of the centromere on one arm only, then it is called intraradial or homocacheal. And if both the arms, say for example, this arm also having some inverted part and this arm is also having some inverted part, in that case it is called the interradial or the brachial inversion. Then you have the second type, pericentric inversion. In the pericentric inversion, the centromere is involved. That means break will takes place on each side of the centromere, one on each side of the centromere, and will rotate a part involving the centromere. This will be called the pericentric inversion. Now, if the breaks on either side of the centromere will not takes place at the equal distance, say for example, on this side the break is taking place after 2 genes, but on this side it is taking place only after 1 gene. It means this part of the chromosome next to the centromere is short and this part is long, and once this unequal type of distance will be taken into account while having the break, then when this part will be reverted, will be inverted, this after inversion it will change the shape of the chromosome, because earlier the centromere was located below and the chromosome was submetacentric, but now the centromere has become right in the center of the chromosome. So, the chromosome has become the metacentric chromosome. Now, the possible mechanism of inversion is this, that by chance sometime say a chromosome having the gene sequence A, B, C, D, E, F undergo a by chance form a loop, and at this point, that the 2 points when they are very close to each other, once the break will takes place, 2 breaks will takes place, and the joining after break will be with the different part of the chromosome. Say for example, after this break D will join with B and C will join with E, then that means they will join with the wrong ends, they will not join with the ends from which they have broken, then this will get the inverted segment within a chromosome. So, this is how that probably the possible mechanism is that which leads to the formation of inverted segment in a chromosome. Now, as far as when we will study the meiosis, and we shall see that how they behave, the inverted chromosome, how it will behave during the meiosis, and how we will be able to detect that the inversion has taken place. We can see that when pairing takes place during the prophase first of the meiosis first, what will happen that the inverted chromosome, because it has a inverted portion in it, this chromosome will form a loop. So, this loop when it will start pairing with the normal chromosome, the normal chromosome will have the gene 1 corresponding to 1, 2 corresponding to 2, so on and so forth, 4 with 4, but it will have the fifth number of gene, 5 gene at this position, whereas in the corresponding part it will have 7 and the 5 will be there. So, it will form a loop again to come close to the corresponding part of the inverted chromosome. So, 6 will become close to 6 and 7 corresponding to 7, and then it will go back to match with the 8. So, it means the normal chromosome will also form a loop. Now, the difference between these two loops is that the inverted chromosome, say for example, if have the clockwise type of loop, then the normal chromosome will form the anti-clockwise type of loop. So, they will go in reverse to one another, in reciprocal to one another. If the inverted chromosome will have the clockwise type of loop, it will go anti-clockwise, and if it will have the anti-clockwise, it will go clockwise, in order to match the corresponding part, because pairing is exact. So, it means when you are looking at the two loops formed by the pair of the homologous chromosome, it means yes, the inversion has taken place. When we will look at the next stage in the crossing over, normally we are not able to see the offsprings having the crossover segment of the chromosome, because whenever there is a crossing over between the inverted chromosome, then the gametes that will be formed will not be viable. As a result, you will not be able to find the effect of crossover in the inverted chromosome in the offspring. Once the gametes are not viable, it means individual will not be formed, you will not be able to see the individual. So, this is how that the inversion suppress the crossing over. So, that does not mean that the crossing over will not takes place between the inverted chromosome, but it will takes place, but the result of the crossing over in the inverted chromosome is so lethal that you will not be able to find the offspring. So, you cannot see the result of the inversion. But while looking at the cell during the crossing over stage, you can see that if the crossing over takes place in the paracentric inversion, that means when the inversion is taking place away from the centromere, not involving the centromere, you will find that you will get the some chromosomes which will have the two centromere, they are called the dicentric, and you will get a chromatid which will not have the centromere, so called the acentric. In addition to it, you will also get that these part will have some some duplication also and some deletions also. So, you know well, when you will have the this type of chromatid which will not have the centromere, it means this chromatid will not reach to any pole of the this mitotic spindle. As a result, it will not be separated into cell, thus it will be lost. So, this is the loss of the gene. And on the other hand, those which will have the two centromere, they will be pulled to both the sides. As a result, a random break may take place over there, which will again leads to the formation of the chromosome, which will have the deficient number of the genes. Say for example, if this part will go to this having after having break this, you will have this chromosome only having the single gene, and you will have the here again this part will not have the E number of gene, the E gene, that means it will be deficient in one of the gene, and again the other part may also have the inverted portion. So, it means even in case of the dicentric formation, sometime it happens that because of the equal pull from both the sides, these chromosomes will not go anywhere, they will remain hanged in between, they will not go to either pole. As a result, again the gamete will not be formed, as chromosomes will not be there. So, in both the cases what will happen, that either if they will go to one pole, they will have the deficiency and the duplications, and if they will not go to the pole, then the gametes will not have the chromosome. In both the cases, the gamete will not be viable, they will be abnormal enough. So, the individual will not be formed during the fertilization. What happens basically, if you look at that, once the pairing will takes place in the prophase, what will happen? Say for example, this is the chromosome having the normal sequence of the gene, and this red one is having the inverted part. So, what will happen over there, that during the pairing, because it is always gene to gene, so A will come opposite to A, but B is present in the normal chromosome over here, whereas in the inverted at this position you are having the D. So, D will go to this side by formation of the loop that we have already discussed, in order to come close to D, and in this way it will come back to match with the C, then with the B, and go back to match with the E. Now, once after this say for example, and then if the crossing over will takes place over there, what will happen, that when the chromosomes will be separated, how this structure will be formed, let us see. Say for example, look at this one, this chromatid will once be pulled to the opposite pole, what will happen, that it will have the A gene, then B gene, then C, then D, then E, okay, it will remain normal, whereas it has an attached another chromosome, another chromatid which will have the A. So, you look at this. So, in previous one we have reached from this end to this one, this end. Now, you start from 2, it is having A, and then it will have the blue B, then it will cross, and because crossing has taken place, it will go with the red C, then with the red D, and then it will go below and come to there with the red A. So, it will be blue A, blue B, red C, red D and red E. So, it means this is the chromosome which is chromatid, which is joined with the two centromeres because of the crossing over, otherwise it was separate. Now, look at the this third one, what will happen to this, that these three will have the red A, then it has the red D because it has the inverted part, then the red C, then the red B and then the red this E. So, this is the this one, this chromosome, this chromatid. So, again it is joined with this also. So, and now you are having this chromatid, once it will separate, look at this, what will happen to this. So, blue E will have the blue D, blue C because it has crossed over there. So, now it will have the red B and then it will come down and it will have the red E. So, now all the 4 chromatids are involved there. So, this is the segment which is not having the centromere. So, it will not go to any pole. So, it is the acentric fragment and this is the dicentric fragment. This is what happens during the separation of the chromatids after crossing over in the inverted chromosome, that you will have the acentric chromosome and you have the dicentric chromosomes. Then when you look at the crossing over in case of the pericentric inversion, in the pericentric inversion again you see that this is the chromosome, this is the pairing that has taken place, and because the cross inversion is involving the centromere. So, it is the pericentric inversion. So, look at this, once it will separate, it will have the A, B, C and D. So, this is the normal, and then look at the second one. So, both 1 and 1 have been involved. So, look at the 2, this will have the blue A, then will the blue B, then it has crossed over to the red C and then come to the red A. So, A has joined with the 4th chromatid, the second chromatid has joined with the 4th chromatid, that is why it is written over there 2nd and 4th, and you will have the blue A, blue B, red C and red A. Now, look at this one, it will have the third one, it will start like this, that it will have the red A, then we have the red C, then the red B and then the red D. So, this is one red A, red C, red B and red D, but only the thing is that it has the inverted segment over there. And then this is the third, that has we have seen that 3 is ending with 3, whereas look at this chromatid is again having blue D, then it is going to this one, going to blue C, then coming to, because it crossing over has taken place over there, then after centromere it will have the this red B, then it will have the red D. So, this is this one which has started with the 2 and ended with the 4. So, 2 and 4 having blue D, blue C, red B, red D. Now, in both the cases, if you look at the A B C D and A B C A, as far as the number of genes are concerned, they are normal, but here if you look at these two D C B D, here this is duplication and the deletion of the A, and in this there is a C B D. So, again this is having the normal, but one inverted one. So, if you look at this one, here again you are having duplication of the A, whereas the deletion of the D. So, because of the duplication, the deletion, in case of deletion particularly, these gamete will not be normal, as a result the individual will not be formed. So, you will not be able to see the inversion. So, in the offspring, as a result you can say that the inversion basically suppress the crossing over. Now, coming to the significance you know that the chromosome with inversion are used as balancer. That is, once a chromosome that can be placed opposite to homologous chromosome carrying certain genes that are homozygous lethal. Homozygous lethal means when a pair of chromosomes is having the same type of the genes. So, when they are present on both the chromosome in a similar way that both are equal, both are same, then they are in homozygous condition, and once these genes are lethal, then what is happen that then the individual will survive only if the other chromosome will not have the same type of gene, it will have other type of gene. So, in heterozygous condition the individual may survive. Now, in that case normally what happens that if you place the inverted chromosome opposite to one normal chromosome which is having the lethal gene, then what will happen that whenever there will be crossing over, the gamete will not survive. So, it means gamete will survive only when there will be no crossing over. So, it means a lethal gene having the inverted chromosome at its counterpart will lead to the normal gamete formation once the crossing over will not takes place. In this way you can say that the lethal mutations are kept balanced, that otherwise because of the crossing over both the homozygous condition may reach, and after the homozygous condition both the allele may become lethal and the individual may die. But we know that once it will takes place in the inverted chromosome, whenever the crossing over will be there, gamete will be abnormal, a gamete will not survive, as a result individual will not survive. Individual will survive only when crossing over will not takes place. So, it means here if you place the this inverted chromosome opposite to a chromosome having the lethal gene, then it means the individual will survive and you can balance the homozygous lethality. As among 4 chromatids resulting after crossing over, the 2 chromatids would have deficiencies and duplications, as we have seen in the pericentric inversion. The gamete having these chromosomes, that means with the deficiencies and the duplications, will not function normally. Therefore, there should be a considerable gametic and zygotic lethality, that means they will not survive. In plants also, once such type of condition is there, the pollens formed will be sterile enough. So, this is all about the this inversion, one of the chromosomal aberrations that leads to the change in the sequence of the genes. So, it is the you can say the structural chromosome change.